Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Flag Media. Today, we're going to be talking about three subjects in the gaming world. First up is going to be GQ Magazine's Best Game of All Times list. They did a top 100 list, and you'd be surprised to find out what they picked as their top game of all time. And the second subject we'll talk about today is Nintendo's president Furukawa speaking about the future of the Switch and what Nintendo will do next. And lastly, we have Sony's PlayStation Plus subscriptions and their updates for May of 2023. So let's start off first with the best games of all times list by GQ Magazine. So GQ's list of 100 video games included newcomers like Disco Elysium and games like Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. And we have some new games coming out very soon that won't make that list, like Tears of the Kingdom, which comes out on May the 10th. But we're going to go over the top 10 list at the very least. We're not going to go over all 100, but at number 10, Half-Life 2 was ranked in that spot for best game of all time. Number 9, you have Dark Souls. Number 8, Portal 2. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid. Number 6, Mass Effect 2. Number 5, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Number 4, Bloodborne. Number 3, Tetris. Number 2, The Last of Us. And at the number 1 spot as GQ's top game of all time is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So in GQ's this basically how GQ's article was made is they took an aggregate of multiple people, hundreds of people. So it says here on Wednesday, this article comes from our friends over at Kotaku. It says on Wednesday, GQ published a list attempting to rank 100 of the best video games of all time. GQ's best games list was constructed with the help of at least 300 experts, including video game developers, journalists, and influencers, each of whom submitted a top 10 of their personal favorite games. Of the 652 games that were submitted to GQ, Breath of the Wild not only received the most votes, but also placed in people's number 1 slot more than any of its rivals. In its blurb about Breath of the Wild being the best video game of all time, GQ said, the 2017 Nintendo Switch launch title changed how many saw open world experiences. With its freeform approach to exploration, combat, and puzzles, GQ's last point is evident in the fact that the folks are still discovering secrets and wacky new ways to solve Breath of the Wild puzzles 6 years after its release. This is really interesting. To GQ's credit, the best video game list ranking seems to, be an aggregate of over 300 people in the games industry and influencers, right? So we have developers and journalists in the gaming industry all giving their ranks of their favorite games, and Breath of the Wild ranked above everything else, which I really was surprised by. Also, the top 10 list was very unconventional compared to what you might, discuss with your friends. Not seeing Ocarina of Time up there with, which for so long was kind of like the gold standard, right, in the Zelda franchise, and didn't even crack the top 10 list. You have games like Half-Life 2, which everybody loves, but seeing The Witcher 3 in there and Bloodborne above, classics, it's really interesting to see. And Tetris ranking number 3 is also interesting at a puzzle game, and no one can deny the influence that these games have all had on the gaming industry. I'm curious to know what your guys' top 10 list is and what your favorite game of all time is. Definitely drop that in the comments so that I can check it out. Brings us to the next article here. We have Nintendo is considering innovative ideas for next generation hardware, but its current focus is the Switch player base. With the Switch beginning its 7th year of existence, many fans are wondering what Nintendo is going to follow up with their next system. People here at Go Nintendo have a comment from Nintendo President Furukawa and provided by VGC and Robert Cephison. It says in Nintendo Investor Q&A, Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa opened up about where the Switch is at now and where Nintendo will go in the future with hardware. While Furukawa wasn't willing to share specifics, he did note that Nintendo is exploring some innovative and unique ideas. That said, The focus for the time being is squarely on Switch and its players. Translation went a little something like this. It says, the growth rate of our annual active player base has begun to level off compared to what we saw 3 or 4 years ago. We believe our next step is to focus on keeping high user activity while also attracting new users. The life cycle of a console is often based on the timing of a major game release, and therefore affects our continued commitment to software production. Moreover, we find it essential to continue providing new opportunities for customers to engage with the Nintendo Switch beyond just the launch of new games. We don't believe that a secure number of annual active users negates the need for a next generation console release. While we're not at a stage to discuss specifics about a potential next gen console, we're continually considering innovative ideas that could offer new and unique experiences. We're developing a variety of things with that future in mind. In the event of a future hardware launch, the annual active user numbers will be heavily impacted by the number of hardware units sold. Knowing this, it's important to maintain a substantial customer base that can enjoy Nintendo's dedicated gaming systems and ensure that we have a smooth transition to the next generation console. Nevertheless, at this point, our foremost priority is to maintain and expand the Nintendo Switch, now in its 7th year, and to sustain our business momentum. So it sounds like, they're kind of treading that line where he's telling us, look, I understand the system is entering its 7th year. We will be putting out software to try to spur sales and continue that trend, but also we're aware that we need to bring out new systems, and they're toying and they're with new ideas and innovations. They're not ready to talk about that stuff yet. Previously we talked about this on the channel that Nintendo said there will not be a Switch in the fiscal year of 2023, which means Switch will the next system won't be out until at least past March of 2024, and the Switch will have one more holiday season under its belt, and probably be its last without a big brother on the horizon or a next gen system. I think it's very interesting, and it's interesting and nice to hear Furukawa kind of talking a little bit about it and easing the players' minds that something is in the works. It's coming, just not yet. I think that they need to, pick it up and kind of surprise everybody. They probably will after March. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot and get one last holiday season out of the Switch. Let's see what happens. And finally, today we're going to be talking about May's PlayStation Plus update. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Dishonored 2, and more are being added. It looks like Sony is adding 20 games to its PlayStation Plus catalog on May the 16th. It's only 6 days away. So if you're not playing Breath of the Wild, get ready for some good ones. So another chance for Sony to convince you to try to keep your PlayStation Plus extra or premium subscription. And this month is a bit more important for Sony, as it's just ended its long-running PlayStation Plus collection, which granted PS5 owners with PS Plus a lot of great games at no extra cost. With that now gone, Sony needed to replace it with some good stuff, and this month's lineup, which includes Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, The Evil Within 2, and the rebooted Tomb Raider trilogy, seems like a solid attempt to fill the void left by PS Plus Collection's demise. So Kotaku writes here, Sony PlayStation Plus subscription service regularly expands every month with new games, and May 2023 is no different. But keep in mind that PS Plus changed in 2022 and now comes in 3 different tiers. The Essential, Extra, and Premium cost $10, $15, and $18 respectively. Essential is basic plus plan and gets you access to the monthly free games. Extra provides that and also access to PS Plus game catalogs, and also known as Sony's response to Microsoft's Game Pass. Finally, Premium gets you all of that, plus access to streaming games and classic PlayStation titles, including PS1 and PSP games. On May 10th, Sony announced all the games that it will be adding to PlayStation Plus's game catalog later this month. All of these titles will arrive on May 16th. To play them and to continue to enjoy the rest of the subscription services catalogs in the future, you'll need to maintain a PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium subscription. Essential members do not get any of this stuff. So here's the full list. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Humanity, Watch Dogs Legion, Dishonored 2, Dishonored Death of the Outsider, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Bus Simulator 21, Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Dimesia, probably said that wrong, Rain World, Lake, Conan Exiles, Rune Factory 4, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, and Soundfall. This is a very strong list of games, and I think that it's cool. A lot of people are going to be able to experience these titles, especially if they haven't. Ratchet and Clank is one of those games that not a lot of people played, even though it was highly regarded and probably a must play. And I know a lot of people just skipped it altogether. Having PlayStation Plus is probably going to be the best way for a lot of people to just get an opportunity to play an amazing title. With that, that is all of the news that I have for you all today. Please drop a comment down below if there is anything that you enjoyed about the video. If you like the top 10 list, did you agree that Breath of the Wild is the #1 best game of all time? Do you like that list? Let me know below. As always, follow us at twitter.com @StarFlagMedia. You can also join us on Twitch live, twitch.tv/StarFlagMedia, and you can leave comments, follow, and catch a live version of this stream. And, of course, leave that like button down below and subscribe. We are a new channel. We really need the help to grow. If you think we can do something better, leave a comment. Let me know what I can do to fix it. As always, we appreciate you coming here to Starflag Media, and thanks for gaming.